Swami, I want to ask, is it when a person becomes mature, so the person will stop seeking for outside experiences and will be more interested to be alone and no longer searching for external experiences?
What is external experiences?
Like external experiences is like you want to experience pleasant thing mentally, physically, emotionally. You want everything pleasant in those senses.
What is pleasant emotional, physical, and mental states according to you?
Pleasant physical state is like when you sleep on a very soft bed or you're eating very delicious food that is physically pleasant. And then mentally pleasant is like your mind is in a very peaceful state. And then emotionally pleasant, perhaps you are experiencing like people praise you, people are nice to you, people like maybe give you compliment and all that. Those are emotionally pleasant sensations.
In physical pleasant state, why you have not included touch of the opposite sex?
Because it was not in my mind also, me.
Yeah, but is it part of your pleasant state or not?
Not as pleasant as sleeping on a soft bed. I think sleeping on the soft bed is the most pleasant physical experience. Sleeping on a very, very soft bed.
That thing is more pleasant to you than a live person.
It's different kind of pleasantness, Swami.
Different kind, or it's like you have not been able to reach to the grave, so you are saying it is sore.
But it was totally not in my mind, Swami. Touch of the opposite sex was totally not in my mind at all.
Or touch of the same sex.
Actually, this kind of thing is not a pleasant sensation. It's a excitement. It's an excitement, but it's not pleasant exactly. It's pleasure, but it's not pleasant.
Okay. Ask again.
Is a person reaching maturity spiritually when the person loses interest in seeking for external pleasures such as physical pleasure, mental pleasure, emotional pleasure, and is more interested in being alone, more interested in significant things, more interested in knowing the truth and knowing the self.
What do you mean by a person reaches maturity spiritually?
That means a person has come to a point where they are not interested in things that are outside and more interested in the internal world. Like you are more interested in being peaceful, being alone, having good space, rather than looking for excitement from outside or looking for pleasure from outside. And you are not no longer so interested in experiences. You are not interested in experiences anymore.
There is nothing like a person becoming spiritually mature. Maturity, spiritual maturity means the disappearance of person. As long as the person is there, you are not spiritual. What is a person? A person means you have a personality that has been created unconsciously. So there is nothing like spiritual maturity. Either your lamp is lighted or it is in darkness. There can be less darkness or more darkness according to how much unconscious you are. So the more watchful you become of your unconscious, the less darkness there will be. So if you are, it is a evolution from being a stone to being a Buddha. So when you are stone, you are 100% unconscious. In plants and in animal, there is some consciousness, but they cannot become aware of the presence of the consciousness. But their sleep is less compared to stones. Animals are less asleep compared to plants. Human being is also like an animal. As long as you have not begun the effort to be conscious of the habits which you have created unconsciously. In India we call it sanskar. So if you are just living without being watchful, then you are living a mechanical life. You are like a machine. So if you want to break it, the first thing you have to begin with is your body, which is the grossest thing in you, which you can see very clearly. The body is there. An unconscious person functions like a machine. He is not watchful of his bodily movement. The unconscious person is not even interested to be alert, to be watchful of how his body is functioning. And it is easy to function like a machine, because then you don't have to make any effort. To break your unconscious is a great effort, because this is, since millennia you have been unconscious. So it will be a Herculean task, it will be very arduous. To fall down to become an animal is a great attraction, because then you can be, you are falling down. It is like Jack fell down and broke his crown. It is like tumbling down from the mountain. That is why there is attraction for intoxicant, for anything which makes us forget ourselves, like movies, like novels, like hashish, marijuana, things like that. That is the attraction. The tension is gone. As a human being, you are on the middle of the bridge. The animal is on the one side of the bridge and divinity is on the other side. But human being is in the middle. So this is a state of tension. Either you can go back or you can go ahead. So we function in a mechanical way bodily. Now if you want to break that unconscious habit, that unconscious way of functioning, then you will have to become alert about your bodily movement. While walking, you will have to be totally present. While doing anything, you have to be watchful. If you are bringing food to your mouth, be awake about it. Be alert about it. Then slowly, the unconsciousness that is shrouding you like darkness in your body will disappear. Then more subtle is your thoughts. Then you have to be alert about your thoughts. Anything comes, anything goes, we are perfectly asleep about that. So when you start watching your thoughts, there will be less and less thought. Because watching means you are the watcher. So you become separate from whatever you are able to watch. Thoughts are like the cloud in the sky of your consciousness. The more you watchful you will become of your thoughts, the less thought there will be. More subtle than thought is feeling, mood. So as you are able to watch all those things, they will all disappear. Your inner sky will become empty. Now for the first time you can think if you want. Otherwise, thoughts are your master. Feelings are your master. Your mood is your master. But you had no ability to think before that. Once you are a watcher, once you are a witness, only then you can think if you want. So as all those things disappear, the watcher remains. And then that watcher becomes the witness. Then it becomes aware of itself. That is what Krishnamurti meant when he said when the observer is observed, when there is nothing to watch, then the witness turns it into itself. But there is no division. It is not that the first witness will witness the second. Once you know you are the witness, anything that can be watched, you are not that. You are always the knower. And this knower can never be reduced into the known. It will always remain the knower. So you can never know the knower. That's why it is called the unknowable. You can become it, but you can never know it. Never knowing it means that you can never reduce it into an object. So spiritual maturity in reality means being totally conscious. When your inner darkness is removed. But before that, is the time for sadhana. And this is the sadhana. Making effort to get rid of your unconsciousness. So, the less unconscious you are, the more mature spiritually you are. But in your depth you are all, even now you are that. Because that is your very nature, that is your very center. You have identified with things which you are not by being unconscious. So as you start becoming a watcher, as you start becoming more alert about your unconscious, about your body, about your mind, about your thinking, about your feeling, then you don't have that energy to do other stupid things, because you already have enough of it. Now you are fed up with all those things. Now you want to grow yourself. Before that, things were growing around you. Money was being collected around you. You had a good house. You had all the riches. But you were poor. Now you are no longer interested in those things. You have known those things. Now you know, until and unless you know yourself, you will remain a poor person. Now tell what was the second thing you asked, second line.
Is it a person reaches maturity spiritually when the person is no longer looking
Speak
for
loudly.
when the person is no longer seeking for external experiences?
What do you mean by external experiences?
Physical pleasure, mental pleasure, emotional pleasure, such as sleeping on the soft bed, eating good food, listening to nice music, being praised by someone.
What is the need to seek anything when things are happening on its own, on their own? So a person who has become little mature is not obsessed, is not running for experiences, any experiences, whether it is external or internal. Experiences are happening. He will be present to those things. Whatever is happening in the present, he will remain awake. And a really spiritual person is not against his sense organ. You have to make your sense organ more sharper, more refined. At present it is gross, so that it can appreciate more refined things, more refined music, more refined thinkings. So for all those things you will have to become more conscious. The more conscious you are, the more refined your sense organ will become. He will not be against sense organs. And as far as Osho's vision is concerned, he has said it very clearly. I teach a sensuous religion. But sensuous should not go down and become sexual. Sensuous means your sense organ has to be refined, has to become purer, so that you can appreciate finer thing. You can have more aesthetic sense. So, if you are lying down on a comfortable bed, there is no need that you have to lie down on a bed of thorn. Respect this body, give it a good, comfortable bed. But don't hanker for it. Whatever you have, just enjoy it. There is no need to hanker for that you have this. Now you want to have something which others have. Whatever you have, just enjoy it. Whatever food you have, just be totally present. Then you will be able to taste better. But if you are just thinking about, dreaming about eating in King's Palace, then you are living in a dreamy world. A spiritual person lives in the real world. Whatever is available to him, he enjoys it totally. He makes the best out of whatever is available to him. It's not that when something is present, he will close his doors. He is available to that, but he is not seeking anything. He is not running for anything. Whatever comes, he enjoys it. He is open. He is receptive. What was the other things you said?
And then the person will prefer to be alone, will prefer to have peace and calm, and more interested in significant things and knowing the self.
In the middle of your journey, when you are still making effort, when you are doing sadhana, then you will like to be alone. Because if you don't give attention to yourself, if you don't preserve your energy, if you don't conserve your energy, if you don't gather your energy, it can never burn your inner darkness. It is like gathering the sunlight on the lens. When the energy is gathered there, when the heat is gathered on the lens, then it can burn the paper. In the same way, if you have not conserved your energy, if you have not preserved your energy, you have nothing. That energy, that very energy which is running out, which is running for everything else, when the same energy is not running out, the same energy becomes watchfulness. Otherwise, you don't have the energy. Your whole energy is scattered. So, it's not that you will always be avoiding people, you will be unsocial, but in the meantime, in your period of sadhana, you have to separate yourself from all those unconscious people, because their energy will affect you. If you are running after those people, that means you are still not a mature person. It's not spiritual maturity, not even mentally mature. Because for anything, if you want to do anything, even if a scientist want to discover something, he has to put his whole energy in that thing. Otherwise, he will never know anything. If you want to be a jack of all trade, you will not be a master of anything. And if you want to master your mind, this mastery is like a girlfriend. It cannot tolerate anything else. You have to apply your whole energy in this direction. Only then something significant can happen. Otherwise, for a person who has reached consciousness is one, there is no two, there is no second there, there is no duality there. There is only one consciousness. So once you have become one with this consciousness, once you have realized your inner nature, once you have known your real nature, once you have become the consciousness, then there is no two consciousness. Then I and me, everything disappear. There is only one consciousness. That is the real meaning of being alone. That means all has become one. There is no two. So who will go for whom? Who will run for whom? Who will seek whom? There is no second. There is only one. There is no duality. There is no division. Now you are enough unto yourself. But then you also disappear as a person. There is no I, there is no you. There is only presence. And that person is not seeking anything. What was the last line you said?
More interested to know the self.
And also what significant thing?
More interested in significant things. More interested in peace, calm, being peaceful, being calm, significant things, and knowing the self.
Once you know your real nature, once you are consciousness, then all those things you are no longer seeking. Peace and silence, seeking the self, whatever. These things are when you are still ignorant, when you have not come to know yourself. Once the inner light is there, that very light is peace, is silence. And then whatever you touch will become significant. You don't have to seek anything. Nothing is insignificant. Nothing is significant. It is your inner darkness or inner light that makes things either insignificant or significant. So that person is not seeking anything. Why he will seek silence? Why he will seek peace? Once he wants to enjoy his self, then he can just close his eyes. And as he becomes more and more settled, whether his eyes are closed or open, he is at home. He is in his natural state. He is not seeking anything. As long as you are seeking something, you are in darkness, inner darkness. There is no meaning in anything. Meaning comes, significance comes when you become conscious. If you are conscious, then everything is significant. If you are unconscious, then everything is just insignificant, wastage of time. Okay?
Okay, Swami.